You can either make a lot of money or you can lose a lot of money. And the difference is in the business that you end up buying. I've helped thousands of people to replace their income by buying great online businesses. Now, the people that don't follow my advice typically come to me with their tail between their legs, asking for help to turn their business around. So why not buy the best asset you can with a solid foundation and then grow it from there? So in this video, I'm going to share my screen with you, going through investors.club, who are sponsoring this video, so thank you. And I'm going to share with you the best types of content websites to buy. Before we do that though, of course, if you're looking at buying an online business and you haven't got my due diligence framework that I use and all my clients use, make sure you click the link below in the description as well. You can get my due diligence framework that has helped us make millions of dollars and save millions of dollars buying online businesses. Let's dive in. On Investors Club, the first thing you should do is obviously just click on listings. That's what I do, and I go and look at the listings they do have for sale. Now, you can upgrade to premium. Premium is basically where you can get access to the deals that are the newest to come out. So basically, you can get the deals that have just been published. On the free version, you can set up your own account, and then you can view the deals that are a little bit later to come out. And as you can see, this one is I'm on the free version here, and this is available in 3 days. So this is one of the premium ones that you'll get if you were a premium member. So what are the best types of content websites to buy? Typically, these are sites that have traffic that are either stable and or increasing. Now, why do I say that? I say that because if you're buying something that is declining, typically you need to throw a lot of resources into it to reverse it. Now, if you're new to the space, I don't recommend doing so, unless you hire a team and you're of SEOs like my agency to recover a site, which we do, but it's better to buy something that's already growing. So what I'm going to look for here is sites that have unique visitors and revenue that are either flat, sort of stable, or slowly increasing. Let's have a look here. We've got this one here, Church Gists or Gists, and I'm just going to open a few and we'll go through. And Veggies Don't Bite, display ads, content site. We're going to get a bit of diversity here. So the first one was $55,000. The second was $255,000. And maybe we find one in the middle. We'll keep scrolling through, see what we can find here. Home entertainment. Now, when I'm going through niches, what I like to think of is is the niche just trying to sell something really, really fast? So the journey of the person who is going to view the content site, are they going to get to the site and then just get sold something straight away? Or are they going to get brought into the content and learn a little bit and build a little bit of trust before they push towards going to buy something? I do like to look at niches where people will spend money emotionally as well. That can be things like babies, pets. Sometimes new parents that have babies that aren't sleeping, they're going to throw money at the problem so they can get a better sleep, and their baby can get a better sleep with gadgets and devices. And the same with pets that are sick, and it's the same with people that are obsessed with a hobby. For myself, it's something about surfing. I'm going to be spending money on it. So finding those niches are very, very valuable as well. A little bit about niches there. Now let's look at Metro League. No. Auto, Expro, affiliate marketing, property cozy, interesting niche. Let's keep going. Pet Push, here's a pet one. It's a $20,000 site. Now, we're going to go up in value. So we're going to go from the $20,000 site, then to the $55,000 site, and then the $250,000 site. I'm going to share with you why I like or dislike either of the ones and why they could be one of the best ones to buy. Now, caveat, before you go away and spend money on a business, understand that sometimes, yes, you want to dip your toes in the water and get started with a lesser budget. That makes sense. However, typically, and this is a very general statement, is that the larger the asset, typically the less risk and also the less work that you need to put into to get it really moving. Also, the larger the asset, the more money that you're making from that asset that you can redistribute into growth, right? For example, this business is making $600 net profit a month, or what they say on the listing. You can put maybe $300 to $600 per month into growing that asset. With a larger asset, $255,000 per month, it's making almost $6,500 on average, or maybe $6,400 on average per month. So you could put anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 per month into growing that site. And the reason I like to say that is because sometimes people have a fear about the algorithm updates changing and losing traffic. Now, if a site has that happen and you've got a very small site, you don't have much of a budget or monthly income to put towards having a team or a professional or an SEO to rectify that issue to bring your site back. It's a lot harder. Now, with a site like this, maybe you spend like 1 or 2 months of the budget, which is fine, and you can bring your site back into the green and build a new baseline for that website. So something to consider. So we're better off buying something that has a really good foundation based on where you want to start. Now, this has a good spread of monetization. So that is a good thing to diversify risk between monetizations. That's what makes a good business. Not single source dependency, not only dependent on one source of traffic or one source of income or one article that's getting most of the traffic. Another really good thing about a great business is that it's got some age and it's got some authority. So we'll look at the authority as we go through. What I like about this one is that, and is it financial? Pet push. It might actually be seasonal, but maybe it's not. So you'd want to be asking, is this business seasonal? Why has it decreased from October to January and then started to go up from basically Feb up to the middle of the year? So maybe it is a little bit seasonal. Now here, what I really like to see is that the income, this was the income here. This is the traffic. It's gone up as well. So you can see that the income is pretty much tied to the traffic, but you'd want to get also updated information. Here we're seeing September 2023, but we're only getting up to July 2023. So you want to get updated information by requesting Google Access, Analytics Access, I should say. So a site that's 4 years old, it's got a domain rating of 37. And you'd also want to be looking at how many articles does this site actually have. So I'm not sure if they are listing that here. And they're not. For example, the reason I ask this, if a site has like a very low domain rating, say it's a domain rating of like under 2 figures, maybe it's like 8 or 9, but it's got 500 posts, maybe that content isn't as valuable as what you would like when you're buying a site. So that's that pet push one. Now let's look at the religion one. So with the religion one, we've got it 55,380 asking price. It's a 30 multiple. So what I like to look for when I'm buying a business as well is not looking at buying something with a cheap multiple. I like to buy something with a higher multiple. The reason being is because typically the higher the multiple, the less the risk, right? Warren Buffett says it's better to buy a good business at a fair price than a fair business at a good price. So with this one, we've got a 32 multiple, and here we've got a 30, okay? Obviously, these are guidelines, and this is what they're asking for. Does not mean that we as purchasers need to purchase the business for the asking price. We can negotiate, or sometimes that asking price will go up if the business becomes more valuable through the coming months that it's been listed for sale. This one is only a year old, but it is making more money per month, and it is 100% ads. So I do like ad sites because you can change the ad network and ad platform as you see fit, right? To get higher RPMs. Now, this one again is going up overall, right, over the last 12 months in terms of finances. With the traffic, it's the same, but it started to dip down with the traffic through sort of the September period and the October period, and you're hoping to look at sort of stabilizers throughout that. Of course, again, you need to get Google Analytics access for this. Now, this one has a smaller domain rating, probably because it's not as aged, and maybe they don't have as many. Well, they got 24,000 index pages, so that might be the amount of articles they have. Now this one, let's go look at this one again, the $20,000 one. It has 146,000. So for myself, if I'm looking at buying something, I can see this has a higher domain rating. It's got 146 index pages. and it's 4 years old. Whereas this one has 24,000 and it's got a domain rating of 11. It's 1 year old. Yes, it's costing more and it's making more money, but it's got a lower multiple. Whereas this one is cheaper in price, but a higher multiple. And typically I would see this as being less risk. Now, this is based only on the information that I have in this listing without me going and doing further due diligence, which I suggest you guys do by getting my framework. There'll be a link to that in the description as well. So that's the comparative between those two sites. But what I'm seeing here is this is, very general based on the information I have is less risk and cost less. Now let's look at a larger site. Now this is a 40 multiple. This excites me, right? Like I said before, because the multiple is higher typically means the lesser risk. Now this has a good split between ads and, well, it's basically direct ads, and it says 90% here or as a total. Now, it's a 10-year-old display ads content site. It's in the niche, which is a food niche, a good food niche. Food niches are pretty good. I do like food niches. Now, what I do see, though, is over the last year, the revenue is up and down, up and down, up and down. It's pretty variant from, as low as 3,500 up to close to 10,000. It's very variant. I'd be asking questions of why. Why is there so much variation in this? Especially when we see the traffic is pretty stable. Of course, there's been a bit of an update here, and hopefully they haven't lost too much traffic. It'd be cool to see further dates. Obviously, get Google Analytics access to access that. Now, it's got a 64 domain rating with 866 pages. I do like this. I like this business. Obviously, I can see that the larger the assets, typically the less risk, like what I was saying before. Now, with this, you can obviously send an offer, but what I suggest you do is go through, get Google Analytics access, fill out the due diligence framework that you can get from me, and then you can get all the information from this listing. If you need more information, what you can do is you can click this button or click here and send a private message to the seller to get some of those questions answered that you need to get more information about the business, to empower yourself enough to understand if it's a good business to buy. Now, what I recommend people doing when they're buying a business is to ensure that they're not trying to prove the business is a good investment. That's not the way we try and invest in things. We need to first prove the business is a bad investment, and if we can't, we must buy. That's it from me in this video. I hope you found a lot of value and a lot of information in here that is going to help propel you forwards into investing in the best type of content business for you. If you need help, reach out. I'm here for you, Jaryd at buyingonlinebusiness.com, and I'll speak to you on the next one.